Hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss Python programming language on Windows platform, Python basics. We're going to discuss that, and then we're going to discuss about variables, different data types, expressions, assignment statement, if statement, for statement, while statement, and looping, which is for statement and while statement. And this is going to be video number 3 on Windows platform using Visual Studio Code and Python programming language. In particular, we use the Visual Studio Code IDE, Integrated Development Environment of Python. And the Visual Studio Code allow you to do Python as well as C, C++, a lot of other different source codes or programming languages that you can run and compile and then do it, as well as it has the Python interpreter. So whether you're doing compilation on C, C++, Java, C Sharp, or interpreter on Python, the IDE Visual Studio Code is your friend. So with that in mind, let's get started for today. And we're going to discuss everything that we need to know about basics of Python. The basic level is how to declare variables, how to do different data types with those variables, how to do assignment statement, how to do Boolean expressions, how to do some computation with those expressions and do calculation and then do some conditioning using if statement, branching from if statement, and how to do looping with for statement, while statement. All of that will be discussed in video number 3 on Windows platform using Visual Studio Code PyChart. I want to thank you for watching our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of nice videos on it. I'm going to just introduce you to the channel first. And this is the channel. It is youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. At MyWebUniversity is the handle for the channel. So when you search on youtube.com/ at MyWebUniversity, this page comes in and this is my channel. It is about 1,200 videos that are all available online for you. All you need is internet and access and a browser and the desire to learn and then watch these videos, whether you're a college student or a developer or a programmer or a computer science student or information science, data science, artificial intelligence, any level that you are there, I have some videos for you. You're welcome to watch it and then enjoy it and learn it from it and make some comments on the video that you watch. And as you can see, they're by playlist. But if I go through videos, there's a lot of them, and you can see all of those ones. Some of videos are as long as 6 hours, or 4.5 hours, or 3 hours, or something. But there's a lot to cover, whether cybersecurity, or operating system, or database, or MySQL, or shell scripting, bash scripting, Linux operating system, Red Hat, Rocky, CentOS, PDF, documentations, thousands of PDF manual pages, and I'm discussing all of that on my website, so on my YouTube channel as well. And my website that you can also go here has been up and running for the past 22 years or 23 years now. It is mywebuniversity.com, and main page here on the front page is taking you to the YouTube channel. But if you just watch any of these videos that I have posted, you're welcome to watch them, as well as you can just go to this second page. The second page is the entire book that I wrote, and the entire book is online. It's about the direct path to Linux Ubuntu. It shows you how to learn and practice a Linux operating system, in particular Ubuntu operating system of Linux flavor, and then the distribution is Linux Ubuntu, And we are going to just provide you this, and then chapter 1 through chapter 11, and chapter 2 is the basic Unix level commands, chapter 3 is intermediate, and chapter 4 is advanced. For each of these chapters, as you go, for example, if you're advanced level, you click on chapter 4, and you have about 88 commands here. Each of these commands that you learn, you just click on it, and I'll give you the what is section, the manual page examples, and everything else. As well as for each row, I have one video for you to watch it. And then for the last row is video number 8 of 8, this one. So there's 8 rows here, 8 videos. And if you just click on one of them, for example, some of the commands that are system administrator level that requires privilege that I cannot just let you practice on it because it requires permission, like root level permission or user add, user group, user mode. So I give you examples here, and then you can learn from the examples. But if the command is available, let's say something like you could run any of these commands, like some of the documentation is just command level, like man grep. You could see that when I run that command, it gives you manual pages on the grep command. A global regular expression, man is stand for manual. And then similarly, if you just are doing something like higher level, like GDB, core ADB, I'm giving you a lot of documentation on those ones. So this is like the documentation example by example, so you can do that one. As well as if you go to chapter 3, for example, intermediate level, you have all these details. The detail of these ones are all there. So if you run the df command, for example, I give you examples here. You can run the example on my server, and then you can just get the output. You can even just change this argument. If you know Linux, you could say, give me the date command, it will run the date command. Or just say, give me the calendar command, the current month. You could do that one. Like for example, I said calendar +1 9070, but if I just want the current month, then I could just say that cal, and then that would give you the current month, December. And if you say, give me the uname +8, this plus is actually the space, since the query string that is parsed, and it has to have this space here, and the argument is -a, give me all of the information. So if you just want to get the node name, you just say node name here. And similarly, if you just say, well, let me just run another command and say ls +-l, give me a long listing, you could get all of these commands. So the list of options are a lot, and then I've made other videos to show you those ones. You're welcome to practice those ones, and then sometime, like for example, on the basic level, chapter 2, you can see here, I gave the calendar command here. So if you just click on the calendar, you get the output there. And the calendar 9031, it gives you the entire calendar 9031. And similarly, if you want to get different arguments, you just have to type in the argument with it here, and then run it. So at the same time, if you're just like looking at the cat command, for example, it says go give me a -n for etc release and etc network OS release, and the two files are shown with the line numbers in front of them. But at the same time, if you just say, well, I wish I could just get the manual pages, yeah, here's the manual pages. So you could just click on manual pages. I provide you the whole manual pages. And this is dynamic. So if you're looking for the date command, you just type in date here, you will get that one. If you are looking for calendar command, you just type in calendar and you get the output for calendar. Similarly, all the 9,000 Linux commands. And if you say, that is great, I'd like to just be in one place and see the entire manual pages, for example, for Linux Ubuntu, for a Rocky version, for Red Hat. Let's say you're interested in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. I have about 12,000 PDF files that are available for you. I have written Python program. Python is so cool. You could just write one program to generate these 12,000 PDF files in a very nice format, and it is all available on the internet. Otherwise, you have to be sitting in front of a Windows machine or Linux machine or Solaris machine or Mac to just get these technical documentation. But I'm providing you all in one place. For example, let's say you're looking for Ubuntu, you could just come in and click on it and then get all the Docker information here. So, honey, how I'm going to come back to the actual training today, which is Python. But this is just for your information that under MyWebUniversity, I have that one. And I also have videos that you could just go at the channel and watch it. So the first thing that we discussed was variables, data types, expression, assignment, statement. All of that one I'm going to just show you on the command line and also on the graphical user interface using Visual Studio Code. So right here, as you can see, let me just close this one. I don't need any of that one. I'm going to maximize this. And at this time, I'm on this directory when I just did it. As you can see, system info, find strings like I, and then OS name, that is Microsoft Windows 11 Professional Edition, as you can see here. That's what I have currently. In order to just show you more details, so the host operating system, as you can see here, CMD, it just shows me that I'm on Windows operating system, and the build version is 10.0. It was a Microsoft Windows 11 Professional, and by typing exit out of this CMD, I close this command prompt. If I just type in again, exit, that will just close my browser. So at this time, this is my Windows operating system. This is the desktop, and then these are the icons. I can just go here and then open a CMD, and then at this directory where I am, I'm gonna have it, this size is good enough. I'm going to just say, let's go to the directory demo. And there's a directory called demo. So I'm gonna CD to demo, clear my screen. Now I'm on the directory demo. There's a lot of other directories. So the directory that I wanna go is programs. And notice that under programs, if I type in 5 more, I have all kind of programming languages, including Python, PowerShell, C++, shells, and other ones. So today we're going to discuss Python, and then clear the screen again here, directory of dir of this. This one has a lot of .py examples you can see. If I say, show me all the files, O:\D, and that's the latest file that I modified or anything, it is all of them are there. So in order to see the content of these files, you can type them. Like for example, if I say more test1.py, it will just show that one. Or more test2.py, I could see that one. The content of it, you can do a more or type test1.py, type test2.py. Test2. When you do a type, if you didn't do more, if the is more than one page, you have to do a more piping it, and then it will stop one screen at a time. But because this information was shorter, like an example of test one, it was longer. So test one is also not that long. Let's say I have another program called something with sine and cosine. Let me see, sine and cosine. So if you look at this one, plot sine and cosine dot py. If I say type plot and then press tab, this file went up. I have to move up to see the top of it using the mouse and just go down. But you can also do a 5 more to see that one. So these are operating system commands that would help you from the command line. But then when you're in the Visual Studio Code, then these interfaces are much easier. And the GUI, you don't have to worry about memorizing commands. A lot of the IDE integrate development environment or very, very intuitive, very friendly, very kind of optional that is going to give you tools that you can do feature rich kind of options that whatever you need at the time, there's a tool for it. So that's why it's called integrated development environment. They're all integrated together. It's a development environment that are integrated. So let's do that. First, in order to just go through that one, we could just say clear screen here. I'm on this directory. I'm gonna go to chapter 1 through 5. And notice that when I was teaching at Pasadena City College, there was one course. I mean, I taught Python programming CIS 012 for about 5 semesters, 2.5 years. And then I taught some other programming classes like C++ and Bash scripting and shell scripting in Unix. So this one is Python, and I just put all of the that class in this directory in order for you to do a demo. So all the details that was the name of the course and the lectures and those chapters is easier if I just do like this, chapter start. Notice that I made for all of them, if I do 5 more, so I have for chapter 1 through chapter 5 in this folder or directory. And then chapter 6 is this, chapter 7, all the way up to chapter 14, and then chapter 11 is regular expression. So if I just cover for this video chapter 1 through 5, then you have a lot of examples with Python. So let's go to chapter 1 through 5. And then at this time, I'm going to show you code syntax. So code, if you just install it, if you don't know how to install it, you can use pep install code, or you could just go to the IDE, Visual Studio Code, and then install it through that. If PyCharm and Visual Studio Code, you actually go to their website. For PyCharm, you go to jetbrains.com, you get the community version, install it, and I have other videos that I showed you. And then for Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio vscode.org or something. It's an open source, and then from there you install it there. But once code is installed, you can run it by just typing code. Notice that it runs right here, and the current directory that I was there at the time, last time, it saves your environment, the session, based on the current the directory the last time which I visited, chapter 1, not 5. But if I want to just say started from this directory, then I could say code dot, meaning that started from the current directory. Now my directory changed, and then I could just go to files and look for it, and it's going to be the directory that I could browse through them. And here is the options. I'm still in chapter 5, 1 of 5, and that I did, and then I'm not sure why the code dot did not change it. I'm gonna just go to 1 of 5 and then run code from this one, say start from the current one. Because when you save the session, it saves your environment. That's maybe the reason that it didn't do it. Normally, if you're on Linux or Windows, if you do code dot, meaning that from the current directory start my session. But because my previous session was on chapter 5, it saved the session. Every time you do Control F or Control S, actually, not Control F, Control S, it saves it. So the session. And then you can also, if you don't remember what is the shortcut, you can just click here, say file, and then right here, when you say save, notice it's Control S, and save as Control Shift plus S. So Control S is going to save every time you want to save the file as something, right? So since these files are saved, I'm going to open the first one, which is already open here. And then I'm going to introduce you first to some of the features of this IDE. So as you can see here, if I click on it once, the entire code is going to show inside the editorial like this interface here. So it goes line 1 to the line 20, and then it shows the code name in a very nice color. And then you can just see that there are certain ways you can search for the code. And then if you are clicking on anything, the IDE is going to help you sometimes provide you, if it's a method, the name of the method, if it is a property associated to an object, it gives you that detail. So there's very intuitive details that is just based on the area that you get certain output, or certain comments, or certain help, certain features that are available for you. The other thing is that extension and everything is already installed for Python in order to execute it. This area where you say run the code, and when you click on it, it just run your code and gives you output of it on the terminal. And then if you click on the output here, you can see the output. If the output is shown here, or the terminal itself is going to show the detail of the output here as well. And here's the setting. These options, sometimes if you don't have these terminal windows, you can just bring it from here. And those ones are available. Like here, notice it's hidden now, and now if I click on it, it comes back. And then that's this interface for it. You have here debug console, output, and then the problems. Usually what this software does on the Visual Studio Code, it makes sure that you kind of like follow the standard. For example, the variable name, my favorite boolean, it is not matching the type of a camel face. For example, my should be my underscore favorite underscore string, like that, and then you could just change it. That way, you see these tilde characters or under it, it says that you need to correct it. Look at view problems here. It tells you that the name is a few issue with it, but honestly, if you did it this one on another scripting language other than IDE, you wouldn't see these kind of errors. And then right here, you have a quick fix for the suggestion. And then sometimes it says, add this one to the workspace setting. When you add it to workspace setting, if it's a unique name, like my name is Wahidullah or Wahid for short, when I just have it, it will not recognize it. But once you add it to workspace, then it's going to recognize it as a valid keyword or a valid symbol, then it's going to not identify it as a problem. But a variable should be declared with the right naming. So in order to correct this one, you can also say highlight it like this. You highlight it, and once you highlight it, press F2, and then F2 is going to say what you want to change it to. So you can also do something like highlight it, right click on it. And then here, if you see, there's something here, rename symbol, which is F2. Rename symbol, and then you say, rename it to my underscore favorite underscore boolean. So that would just rename it to this. Similarly, if I want to do this one, I highlight it and then press F2, and then I say my underscore favorite string. So notice the camel face is my and then underscore favorite and then underscore string, and then that would identify. So now the tilde characters are gone, and then if there's any other ones, we could correct it. And notice here, there's a tilde right after this one, because the IDE, it says that you have to have a, so if I just save it right now under file, save. This error is on the problem, says no result found with provided filter criteria. So I have to have one new line character, and then because I added the VEM or VI editorial, so I'm going to just do the VI syntax, control, I mean escape, and then Shift O, and it's gonna add the new line character. And then now if I just do Control S, save it, now the tilde is gone, and then when you run it, the code is gonna run, and it's gonna give you the complex number in this case. So on the command line, you can also move this one up and down, and then do a clear screen here. Now you can see I'm on a PowerShell on this directory. So the name of this file is plot. Let me close these other files here. Every one of them that you open, it will be available for you at that moment, and then you can compile it. And then this one, I have modified it, so I'm gonna save it. And then this one is the one that I currently called Python data type 1.5. The name of this file is Python data 1.5, so I could do a dir py underscore data 1.5. That file is right there. And you can see it's 565 lines, and here page characters, but it is 21 lines. So if I just say more on py underscore dt 1.5, you can see the code here, and the last line, line 20, is having that line. So you can see it matches this one. You can also use the terminal to run it. So if I want to run it from the terminal, clear my screen, and I could just say the name of it is pyplot. So I can say Python. This Python dash version, you can see Python is running, but the version is 3.12. You can also do py dash version, or py dash v. So those are all giving you the Python version. And now I know that it is there, so I'm going to say Python py underscore dt 1.5, and then get the same output that I was getting from the command line. Notice that when I run it from here, you see the hello world, which is on the top of this. And this interface here, let me close this find command. This one, you can just go up and down, and depending on which part of the code you want to look. If you want to see, this is a smaller footprint of this, so you can click on this image, or you could just move this one up and down. It will take you there. So notice the hello and then word. So when we say declare a variable called hello, and declare a variable called word, and then give the value of hello for the hello, and give the word exclamation mark for the word. And then my favorite boolean is true. And then my favorite string is great human being always love the truth. And then that's always true. Humans that are real humans, they always speak of the truth. Disregard to how dangerous it might be. They always want to take the side of the truth. And so, and then my integer, in this case, I define it as an integer, which is 100, and my float is 55. 50.55, and then that's a floating point numbers because of the dot is a floating point numbers or real number we call it, and then the integer natural numbers or hundreds in integer numbers. And then my comparison, I'm sorry, not my complex number is made up of a real number plus a imaginary number. The imaginary number in this case is a 3J. And then when we write hello world, this is going to be printed because hello is pointing to this variable and word is pointing to this variable. And then when we say print the next one, my favorite is gonna my favorite float my float is going to print 50 point. And similarly, my integer is 100, and my string is great human beings always love the truth. And then hello world is the next one when we print it like this. So every time you use the print statement, you can separate them by comma, and it will give a space between them, but it will print those variables as many as they are. And if you want to print them with no space, you can say my favorite string plus my favorite boolean. That would be concatenating and those ones. But sometimes make sure that when you concatenating, you cannot concatenate integer with a float or an integer with a string or something like that. The data type, if it is closed, like integer and float, could be concatenated, but not integer with a string or a string with some value like boolean. So you have to convert this thing, and I'll show you how to convert it and everything. For this one, we say hello world and new line character. This new line character is going to just print a new line character, my float and then my integer. So in between them, you can see it prints those ones with new line characters as well as a float. So if I just move this line a little bit up, you can see that it prints all of those ones in combination. And then when you come down here, for the complex number, I also want to print their type. So the type function, it takes a value, a variable, and then the variable or modules or anything that you pass in the object name, the type returns their data type or the data type, whether it's a class, even if it's a class or a module, or a data type, a variable. In this case, some of them are string or float or something, then it's going to return their data type. So my comparison store, and then here we do some multiplication on my complex number. So whatever was the complex number, if you multiply it by itself, it doubles there. Here we add 2j with it. So if the complex number was, what was the complex number? Was 2 plus 3j. When we add the 2 plus 3j, the next time and the 2 is going to be added with it, and then the 2 is also added to 3 is 5. So you have to look at those variable in addition to multiplication. I have done here division, subtraction. It is a similar way that you do integer and float, except that in my complex numbers, that is a scientific calculation. So whatever the number is, like for example, 2.0j times 2.0j, it would be 4, 4 and then j, like here minus, and it is the numbers are showing in regards to this. And then the data type is complex here. Actually 2 times 2j is gonna show 4, and 2 times type of it is complex. And then this other one is minus 4j, 4 plus j. So you see the output of it as well. This is a very easy example for in terms of different data types, comparison and everything. But well, I'm going to show you a lot more with different examples, so you understand and the detail of it here. Let's go to another example here. So I'm gonna just go quickly from here all the way there. But in order to, we did the data types already, but let's go through an example of if statement. Oh, actually, greet.py. Greet.py, how many greet I have here? Greeting, hello world, maybe is a better example. Yeah, this is a short example. So when you say Python, say hello world, and it's gonna just say hello world. So if I just say clear screen here, and then say the name of the program is hello world. So I could say Python hello underscore world.py. You can see that it gives those output here. This one is a little bit longer. Hello world is different than this other one. This is the one that is longer, the one that actually I run. So when you run this one on the program also here, notice this one is just error out with something. So I'm gonna detect that one to see what is wrong with it. Let me just clear screen first, and then I'm gonna close this one because we're done with this program, and I want to just run this one. And when you click on it, it just runs. I think the screen something was wrong with it. So in this example, hello world, notice I have this shebang Python. This is on Windows, how you say run my code as Python. But if you're on the Linux machine, you do shebang slash user ben slash env space followed by the interpreter name, which is Python or Python 3. And this is pound is a very basic example of comment in Python. Whenever you put one comment, you use a pound. If you use multiple comments, like multi-line comments, it is 3 strings. 3 strings or either just 3 of these dots. I'm sorry, and 3 of these followed by and then whatever is the comment. This is a multi-line comment. You could do that one, or you could do the 2 string, 3 double strings, quotes, like that. And then this is also a multi-line comment. You see that the IDE is already giving me the details of what I could multi-line comment. So this is an example of multi-line. This is single line. This is also multi-line with 3 single quote, and this is also 3 double quote. You started it with the same 3 double quote and close it. You start with 3 single line and close it with 3 single line. So that is there. Now, if I save it, Control S, I could save it. For some reason, that thing just keeps bothering me. Okay, so I go here and I say run it, and you see there is no problem here. But if I just remove one of these ones, now let's say I go and remove it, now you see a lot of it is a problem. So if I save it and say Control S and file save, and then try to run it, it's gonna just error out. Notice it says that on line 4, I did not close that one. So this is line 4 I started. That means I could either go all the way to the other bottom one and make both of them as that one, or since I have two example of the same thing, I'm gonna just say add it here with 3 lines, and that solved the problem. Now I have to save it again. And then Control S, that saves it. This time I run it, it gave me the output one. And then this output here, you have option to go up with the mouse or just look at it there. Output from the terminal, you could see the code, and then you can step it over all the Docker string, and you get more details, debug, and then since there's no problems with the code, and that problems are not showing any issue. Here, if I go back to the terminal, open the terminal, I can open as many terminals as I want. And then right here or close, there's 3 of them. So I just don't need to have 3 of them. I could just say, let's delete one here. And then this one, I could also say, kill this one also. And then just have these, one of them. Now it's only one terminal. And then right here is the output, here's the debug. So the history, if I just clear a screen here, and then I could also run the program from command line, whatever is the name of the program, I could say Python hello underscore word.py, and that would run the same output and give me those details. Okay, so let me just go back here. This one is just declaring a hello world. And then when I say print is 1 plus is 2, it just says hello world with no space together. And when I say print is 1, and then the code is 2, then it gave me this. But if I just, instead of this, I could just say, this one, I could just change this one. Let's just do one of these, and then we say like that. Now, the line 17 is going to give me a space similar to this. So control file save, and then run it. And you can see here at run the line 17, it says hello world, and then I'm gonna run it here. You can see hello world, and then there's a space here, and then this is line 17. Line 16 does not have the option to add the plus, so it doesn't. And notice here on this line, if I go to problems right now, even though it says no, but somehow the ID highlight this one. So what is telling you, it says that you actually need to have a space after the comma. And then now if I save it, file, save, the change is saved, now there's no tilde here. Similarly, if I don't have two space here, and I just define the definition, and then I say, and define the function, and I save it, file, save. Notice that sometimes these ones are, yeah, it is detecting this def as just the function itself, define. That keyword is saying that this is a problem. And it says that expected 2 blank lines found, 0. So right here, before this line, it was the IDE expected 2 blank lines. So in order to correct that one, you have to go above here and then say 2 lines here. Now I'm going to save it. It's a lot of headache if you just keep working with Microsoft product and they auto-correct stuff, and they force you with a lot of these standards at the same time, which is a good thing, that if you just follow it, you will be much better coder, and then your code are going to be read by other developers. They're gonna enjoy it. They're not gonna just be mad at you or just say, what are you doing? You just kill my eyes and this and that. So right here, we did that function, when you're creating variables, sometimes you can pass it on into a function. You write the function once, and then you can use it as many times as you want. That's what the beauty of function is, code reusability. So you don't have to just uh, rewrite the same code 10 times with different arguments. You could just name the function greet, and whatever message you pass it, the message passing is going to translate it at runtime, and it's gonna be called. Like for example, the greet, it takes a message and a name, and when you say hello CS02, it tells the class hello there. And if you say hi class, it just says hi class. If you say good evening class, it says good evening class. Good morning class, whatever you do. This last line I added because of IDE again. It requires one blank line at the end of your program. That is how it's going to detect this one. If you didn't do it, let's say I delete this one, and I just or I'm here, and then once you save it, it's gonna have a problem. Even though it says no, but it's showing this tilde right here. So sometimes when it is showing the tilde, you have to go through it, and then now notice this tilde as the last line. I'm going to save it, that tilde is gonna disappear. So the idea is going to just correct itself, that you have no issue. And then this is that example of hello world. And whenever you run it, you click here, you get the output as you want. Or you could just run it from the terminal. However you do, that's your choice. So that's hello. And there's hello word, W1 is just only one line. So when you run that one, clear the screen. Not sorry, I typed it wrong in there. Pythons. So you don't need this line if you don't feel like you don't want to add it. It does not require it, but sometimes for code reusability, if you're on a different platform and you want to run it, and then you have to just have the line to make sure that your code is running. Like you can see here, it runs. So clear screen here. The name of the program is Python hello underscore word underscore WL dot py, and you can see it says hello world when you run it. And here also, when you run it, it just says hello world. This is the name of the program. So when you're running it from that thing, it just runs Python executable. This is the Python interpreter for Python 3.12, and this is the code that it runs, and then it just gives you the output there. This is by clicking here. But if you just say this example here, and this is similar to say all this path. I did not provide the path, I just say Python .exec. So whether I type in that or Python itself or even Py, it will just do the same thing. And you can see that. This is a little bit shorter, so you can see that is there. And then when I go here on inside Python, I'm there. I could say import hello underscore word underscore WL. That's another way you could execute that one, that program loads it. Now, if I say directory inside here, I have all the program in addition to this. Because this program does not have any variables, then I'm not seeing anything here. If I just declare a variable, let's say I go on the top here, and then I'm gonna say name is equal Wahidullah, and then let's call it first name, and then also just do last name is equal Lutfi, and then I'm gonna say let's say favorite sport, favorite sport is equal soccer, which is In America, we call it soccer, and Europe is called football. And that's the soccer that you play with your foot, not with your hand, like American football. And so here we say print hello world, and then you can also say print. Let's just do something like hi, and then here we are going to just use the name, and then say hi, and then hi, comma, and say first name, comma, last name. Notice the idea is trying to help me out, but it is blocking my view. Last name. So not as soon as you just type in L, it just shows all the things that are available for you. And then comma, favorite sports, right? So notice the variable is declared here, it is there, and then I have to close it, and it's going to say that message. Basically says I Wahidullah Lutfi soccer, but you have to add something here. So you could say comma, and then let's just say I'm gonna say code, and then say your your favorite sport is favorite. I mistyped it, so let me just correct that. Favorite, not favorite. Am I typing it? I'm typing it wrong. So here's your help. You go under the spelling, and when you go there and you just say under spelling, where is it? Suggestion, and then favorite is gonna show up here, and you correct it. I don't know where I was typing it. My eyes, I cannot see it that close. I'm staying like maybe 8 or 9 feet from the uh, computer or the monitor, not 8, 9, 9 feet, maybe 10, 15. And that's why I can hardly see everything. Sometimes my fingers might also mistype it. Sometimes the spelling, I don't know it, so doesn't matter. I corrected it here, and we say favorite, favorite, whatever I thought, I don't remember. Right here, you do this 2 comma, that is not allowed, so that's why it is complaining. And then right here, it's complaining about another comma. So now we corrected this one, and then we want to give it a space here also. And then we say, now let's save it, file, save. And then at this time, we want to compile it. Or run it, say invalid syntax error. So what is the line number that is coming as error? Okay, let me just see what is oh, because we're inside the ID. So I'm gonna get out of the ID here, and then try to do run it here. That it runs and no error. And so here, if I just want to say soccer, at the end of it, I'm going to just put a nice statement here. Notice that it just saves it as soon as I did it, so that's nice. And then I'm gonna file, save anyway. And then what is this one? It says enter your API key from this wake time. Okay, so I don't know why that one is showing. I don't mind it, but it bothers a little bit. So, okay, so we got that one, whatever, this. Notice that it says hi, first name, last name. Yeah, first name, last name is Wahidullah Lutfi, and then I have comma separated, so there's a space. And since I have 2 comma space here, I don't need a space right here. So if I just correct that one, file and save, and then at the same time run it, you can see that it is better looking now. Why? Because it's one space, and we corrected that one by giving this comma here, but no, that, and then that comma is right here, is this one. So and then first name, last name, and then your favorite sport. That's another string. We could have just said your favorite string is whatever the name of it is, favorite sport, that string, and use a variable. So if I just wanted to do that one, I could have just declared that one, say, for example, favorite sport, and then you you could do that one, say your favorite and then sport. That is sport, something like that. And then just cut and paste this portion of it here. Let me just type it in. Your favorite sport. This time I typed it correctly. Sport is, and then you could just do that one. And then here, now we use the variable. We could just use that variable, and instead of this string, your favorite sport. And if you just want to change that one at some point to something else, then now your code will run efficiently. File, save, and then run it, and you can see still you get the same message. So all we did is just replace that one to a variable, assign this value for it as a string, and then we reuse that one. And this is nice because if you have to do it within every print statement, that is string as static string, then you have to modify it 10 different places if you did it in 10 different locations. But if you use the variable, every time you just want to reuse this variable 10 times, it's going to point to the same string. All you have to do is come on line 4 and change this one to something else, and then that will update it there. Okay, and so that is there. But the string, the variable name also has to make sense for whatever you define it, and that variable is there. But code reusability, for whether you declare a variable or an integer or a function or anything that you want to define, make sure that you declare something on the top, you only modify the variable to some value. When the value changes, you only modify it at the top level of your program in one part of your code, not 10 lines of the code. So that is explained here. I'm going to close this one and close this one. So you have this, and then I'm gonna clear a screen here, and then clear a screen again, so nothing here. And then I'm going to click here. Notice that if you have the ID like this, you could say, well, I'm on chapter 4, because the terminal shows that I'm on chapter 4. And then I could go on the menu and say file, and then open a new file if I want to do, create a new one, or open existing file. I can do that one, or I could just click on this folder. When you click on this folder, this menu comes in. Now you can see I'm on chapter 4, 1 to 5. And then by just clicking on this arrow, you could open it. So you can see the side of it. And then each of these programs are here. We went through a number of them. Now I'm going to show you the Clear Screen program. So the Clear Screen program is another Python program I have here, and this is very simple program also. It runs the Python as an interpreter, and then it says to clear my screen every time I call it. And then I just wrote the CLS. I could name it whatever I want, but this function is gonna clear my screen. So if I type in CLS inside my Python program, it's gonna detect the operating system. So that's why I'm loading operating system. I say import OS. Once OS is loaded, this function os.name, OS not function, os.name. OS is the object in this case, and name is a property. One of the property, if it is the value of its NT, this is Windows. If it is POSIX, then it's Mac or Linux. So you can see that I'm saying F statement. I look at the F statement, do that one. Notice again that under the def, the code is showing here, and it says no quick fix available, but if you click on it, it says you need expected 2 blank lines. So this one is just an IDE telling you that right after this one, you need to have 2 blank line. And then this one, if you save it, and then it should go away. Even though I modified it, it does not give me option to save it. And let me just do Control S. Yeah, once you do Control S, automatic saves it, and then now it goes away. So at this time, I say voice name is NT. Run this command, and then clear screen, and then type clear screen.py. The content of this code is going to display, as well as the OS name. Otherwise, if it is POSIX, which is Linux, run the clear screen command, and instead of type, use the cat command. And instead of CLS, use the clear command, depending on the operating system command. If you're on POSIX, whether you're on Mac or Linux, clear command will clear the screen, and cat will concatenate the content of the file from the current directory. OS.name will just print the operating system name, which would be POSIX. But on the example of Windows, since it's a Windows NT, OS.name would show NT. And then print this one also times 50. That will also do a Pythonic way of clearing the screen, but your prompt is going to stay on the bottom. Now we wrote this definition of Python, where the declaration is done. Now we're calling it to invoke it. So in object-oriented programming, we call it invoke for a method. The name of the method is clear screen. And then if this is a function programming, we say this is the function defined, and then here we call it. So Python is both functional programming language as well object-oriented programming. If you're talking about functional programming, you just have to use the word call to call it, and then when you are using the object-oriented method, you say invoke for a method. A method is similar on object-oriented, it's called method, and then the functional programming is called function. There's object and classes and everything on object-oriented, and a variable, and then classes, and other ones are in functional programming. So here we call it or invoke it, depending on which terminology you want to use. When you do that, notice it clears the screen, and then it says NT, because the OS is NT. Well, we did it, type clear screen, and notice it is the last line. So if I want to just say, when we type it, after that one, we didn't do a print. So the NT just stays right after the last line. But if you go up here, this line is actually, when we say it is NT, clear the screen, so it cleared the screen. And then after that one, type cls.py. This is output of type cls.py up to right here. The last part is os.name is NT. So right here, if I just do another command here, say os.system, and then run the directory command, and then do another one, os.system, run the hostname command, just so you could see that it is there. And then I'm going to say just a print statement here, with a new line character. So we could just say new line character. In fact, let's do two of them. And then close it here. And that's it for that one. Okay, so we did that one. And now if I run it, it should say all the name of the program like in the past. I did type cls.py, then run the directory command, host name, and then two new line character followed by a end of line. I mean by nt. So let's just run it again. And there's some typo here, something missed it. Something missed it. Some people are 24/7 on the news. I don't know how. So let me just save this one again. Okay, file. Okay, you can see now the two new line before NT, and then the host name algorithm, and this is the directory output and so on. So this is another example that I'm showing you that you can run operating system command and a F statement and a function and everything. So the function is called CLS. It's a user-defined function, even though we're not in function, but I just showed you an example because we're discussing F statement, else F statement. Notice the syntax of F statement. F some condition, colon, that one. So I'm going to quickly just go to the Python interpreter from command line, and then I show you some more example of when you're inside of the Python example here, you could see this. You could also say, for example, import OS and then say os.name, you can see as NT. And you say if os.name is equal NT, then just do os.system, make that function calls of clear screen, and then just run it and it will clear screen. So here you could say import a sys module and sys.version to say the Python version information there. Or system.version, it will give you the 3.12 also. And then there of that one also, when we get in, it shows you the version information as soon as you got in like this. And notice it shows you 3.12. And then import sys, you could say sys.executable also tells you that python.exec is the executable on this one. Or it says that platform will say, in this case, NT, Windows 32-bit operating system. Import os.name will show NT. At this time, if I just want to get some help on it, I could say, for example, give me the help on OS operating system, OS modules. So it tells you all of them. Type of OS, you could see that it is a module. And then type of sys, it gives you a sys module. If you type in help by itself, then it says that you want to get the help, you could do this, and now you're in help menu. Here you could say topics, and you get all the Python related topics that are available to you. Or you could say modules to get the list of modules. The list of modules is a little bit huge, so it's gonna take a little bit to load all of them, but it is right here. These are standard libraries that I'm going to discuss a lot of them on future class videos, or maybe I have already done a lot of videos in the past, like NumPy or regular expression or request and so on, Matplotlib and so on. All of those ones are all have been already covered, but I will cover a lot more. So here, if why I did come here, you could get the syntax of if statement, for example. If you look at the if statement, says this is how you could say if statement, some assignment expression followed by a colon and then suite of statements, and then the LF part goes all the way and then colon. This condition is again an assignment expression. Whichever one is going to return, then it's going to do suite and then else another suite. Similarly, if I do a for statement, the for loop syntax is for and then this. So all I'm showing you here, you could get help on a for statement or while statement or even other operators like plus or minus, whichever one operator you want to do, double greater sign, you could get these operators, all of them are available here. And then you could search by keywords. You could do that one. If you look for the else part, the F comes in. If you say keyword and then keyword, all of the keywords that are here, keywords, you can see, for example, function definition, you could say def and then it tells you how you define functions. So, and the help is your friend also. You can get out of here and then I'm gonna go back to this example and show you some more if statement. So let's go to another function does the if statement here. Let's go to the variable. So the variable, in this case, I'm just using import math as m, and then from random, import random integer. At this time, I'm going to get the math.pow of the power of 10, which is 1024. And then math is square root of pow to the power of 4. To the power of 4 is 16. 16, and then the square root of that one, this should return 4. And then this one, random int, it generates a random number between 1 and 10, and then every time it goes into a loop for that range, and then it calls that random int function to generate between those range. So if I just call it, and notice that here the output is shown. Remember the square root of 16 is 4, and then to the power of 10 is 1024. And the one that was right here was saying to the power of 4, that is 16, and then the square root of that one is 4. So somewhere here, it's a little bit tedious to just move up and down. You can only see, yeah, right there. 4, and then the other random number is these random numbers I'm generating between those range, and you could do that. So the variables, depending on what you do with these variables, you are using all kind of random integers and then random numbers, and then manipulating them and outputting this. But let me see if there is one for the if statement. Yeah, right here, if a statement example. So on this one, example 1, and then I'm going to just show you. As you can see here on line 3, I started a comment because I must have teach the different part of this session and then comment out, and then in order to cover. I think on this example, I did a lot of them. So that's why I said multi-line here. But X and 5 and Y are defined, then they're compared here. And based on the comparison, there's some output is done, and then there's an else part of it. There's certain output is done, and then it's gonna say the value is there. And then also here, when we compare, if 5 is greater than 5, obviously greater or equal than 5, then and the value of 5 is printed. But notice that it is up to here is commented. So all I'm getting the output here is that I create a list here. The list has apple, pear, orange, grape, banana as elements. Fruits of 0 is pointing to apple, fruits of 1 is pointing to pear, fruits of -1 is pointing to banana. And then when you're printing them, here you can go through a for statement for F for fruit name and fruits. Fruits is the list. Then we say if item is less than 3, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if less than 3, then print it. And then and just increment it by 1, then all done. Let's see if we can get that one output of it. See what it says right here. So just looking at the fruit name, you can see 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then that will print up to a grape. But a banana is skipped because of the syntax we provided on the if statement. We say if item is less than 3. If we just say item is less than 4, less or equal than 4, and when we save it, we run it, now we get banana also. So depend on what, if you just change this one to 5, then it would be out of range because you can just have another element there and that is doesn't exist. And so you have to add an element in order to just do that one. And you could push and pop elements from it. So this is one example. But if you want to just say, for example, looking at this while statement, there's a number of while statement here also. If I just take this comment here, let's say for this one, I'm gonna take this comment out and leave all this comment here. Now I'm going to put a comma here, and so I'm going to do a comment on this section. This section is commented. Now you can see it's all yellow. And by the ID, everything else I don't have comment. So I have define x is equal 5, y is equal 10, and I'm doing all of that. So I'm going to show you some while statement here. We already went through if statement and for statement, but here we're going to do the else part. And then here we are going to do another comparison and then also the while statement. And so let's just do a save, file save, and then run it. And notice that the output is shown here, 9, 10, 11. So you can see the output for 9, 10, 11. You say 5 is this, if x is equal greater than y, print. So somewhere the computation is going to print 9, 10, 11. Let's just take this one and then move this before these other lines to see faster. I'm sorry, to see faster where we're actually doing this. I'm gonna escape this one and then I'm gonna move this right in here. Oh, I messed it up. I think I messed it up. Let me just and the line that I didn't want to do escape, undo, undo, undo. Okay. Undo and then undo. So I did undo what I wanted to undo. I think what I wanted to do is escape this line and then just move it in front of this line. So this line 1 to whatever line up to right here is up to line 21. And that one is okay. So I'm going to save file, save, and let's go back here. And then we say compile it. And notice that no, the value of y was greater than x. So this part where it says no, the value of y is greater than x, because of that comparison, you can see that it returns that one. And then the value of 5 equals to 5, where that two value or greater. Right here it says if 5 is greater or equal to 5, then it should print that one. So this information is done. Now this time I'm going to move this one on, leave this one here, and then I'm going to comment right here. Let's just have the two variables declared, and then we define that one, and then the next one that I commented here, I only comment up to right here, and then move this one below that. So now this is just line 25 to 31 is the while statement that we want to execute. Everything else that are yellow or just comment it out. This is x 5 and 10 is defined here. Actually, x is already defined. I don't need to define this too. So I'm going to move this one on top of this. And now, if I just was writing this program, it would be only these two lines. I mean, I'm not two line 24 through line 30. So let's just save it. And now we run it, compile it. And you can see the output of this. While x is less than 15, printed. So x is less than 15. The first time it prints 10. The next time if x is 11, it breaks. So once it prints 11, then after that one breaks. If I just want to say do it up to 13, then break. So now we get 10, 11, 12, 13. So let's do that one. File, save. So the if statement and break and exit works all together well. Right here is printing those values. Where's the, I have to go up here, clear screen. Yeah. So it prints a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And x is equal, actually even before 9, it prints 1 through 9. If I just change this one to a bigger number rather than just do it up to from 10 to 13, then now it's going to print out 10, 11, 12, and 13 right there. This is the output there. So depending on what you specify on this one, and if you have a space there, it will be complaining about the tilde. Now the tilde is gone. Okay, so this is the while statement syntax also. And then you could also write code on the IDE, the integrated development environment here. So if I just clear screen here, and then cd to slash, let's say I'm just gonna go to Python here. Python here, I could say for item in range of 100, and then just do something. So I'm going to show you a few of them using the command line IDE, because we did enough on the Visual Studio Code, and I want you to make sure that you understand how that works here. And then you could say print item. Notice that when you do this one, it prints those information. And this time I'm gonna say, start from 10 and go to 100 with an increment of 20. So 10, 30, and then another 50, and so on, and print those ones. So you could say print item. And then notice it just goes through that one. You could also say, for example, declare a list. For example, a variable. You could say x is equal x for x and range of same thing with 10, 100, 20. And then if you just want to get that range, this is list comprehension. You're using a for statement and you have a function, and you also could use a if statement if you want to. Now you get all the values that are similar here, 10, 30, 40, up to 90. But then if you just say, what about this? Can I just say, do this 100, but then you could just say f x, let's just put 100 here, 100, f x module 20 is equal 0. That means that every time is the remainder of x module 20 is equals 0, then it gets you that number. So we're gonna get 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. If you wanna get the odd number of that one, it's a lot different numbers. So this is x is a lot numbers. But if you just say a module 2, then now you have the odd numbers for all of those numbers up to 99. And if you wanted the even numbers, then you just say it's module 2, and then x is there. You could also say, for example, within if you don't do the list comprehension, you could write your own function, could do it. But list comprehension is more like a lambda function that helps you faster the code. So like right here, imagine if I multiply this one to 2. Now x is every time I multiply by itself. And if you say, what about x to the power of x? And then that's but it's x times x actually, not to the power of. But x to the power of would be like this. That's a much larger number. And notice that one with 100, it's so huge. But if I go with this, x is not that big because 10 is whatever that one. So if I just say 9, 9, 9 to the power of 9, that is generating this number, which is equivalent to that. And 8 to the power of 8 would be that one, 8 to the power of 8. And then similarly, 3 to the power of 3 would be 27. And similarly, 5 to the power of 5 would be 3125. So you get the idea. And you can say also something like for num and range of so let's say 100, and then here you could just say if statement similar to the other one, but this is a little bit slower because it has to do it within the list comprehension is much faster. And then right here you could say if a num module 2 is equal 0, then print the number is even. And then you could also use a function f string here, and then you could also print here and the actual number. That way you could get an output the way you want it and say the number is even. And then you could say LF num is equal module 2 is not equal 0, then it must be and then odd number. Print f, print, and then f. You can start with single quote or double quote. It's good to be in sync with the previous syntax. So the number is odd. And then none. And then this part, we don't have an else part. Otherwise, you could say else. Maybe we say print. We never get here. Because one of those two conditions, or either is the numbers remainders module 2 is divisible by 0 or not. If it is not, maybe it is a 1 or 3 or something, and then if it is do, it's an even number. So this else part is unnecessary, but I'm just showing you the syntax of if a statement. So notice that every time it just goes through those numbers, it shows that whether the number is odd or even. You can see the number is 0 is even, number 1 is odd, and so on, all the way to the end of it. And then the last one, 99 is odd, 98 is even, 97 is odd, 96 is even. So you could do something like this. In addition, when you get into the Python, you could say Python, and then you could say help, copyright, those information are there. And then just as we do get into Python, you can exit out, or you can quit out like this, or Control D, Control D, and then press enter, and Control Z, Control Z, and then press enter, it will kick you out. So at the same time, if you want to get the credits to the owner of the Python, you could read that one and credits, and then also for licenses, license. And then notice that whether you type in copyright or license, you have to use it as a function. So if you type in like that, it will give you, and then you read it, there's a lot of information here. And then same thing with copyright, and that information is there. And then if I just get into Python, credits, and then write it as a function, it will just tell you Python credits, thank you. Thanks to CWI, and there's all the companies that are giving credit. At the same time, if you type in dir, it helps you with all these functions that are available, the modules. So type of underscore built ends double underscore, you can see it's a module. And if you want to say help on that one, then you get the entire classes and exceptions and handlers, errors, and all kind of exception handlers, and data type, string modules, everything is there. Also, when you do dir of this one, you can see the list of the objects that are already loaded. And when you load a math module, for example, now dir of math module, math is also included. But if you look at that math module itself, you see all the functions, everything that are available. Like earlier, I was saying that math dot square root of 121 is 11. And or 100 is 10, so on. And then or do that 10, you could also say a math dot how of 2 comma and then this. Now what I'm doing is object-oriented concept of using the math module. So math.pow is a function, a method that requires 2 arguments. And the first argument is the number that I want to get the power of for it. So 2 to the power of 10. This one is going to return 10, and that's another math.square root method. The square root is going to of the 100 is going to return 10. 10 would be the second argument to this power function or method. 2 is the first argument. Now it's going to say to the power of 10. It is going to be 1024. Similarly, I could have just done this one and just gave a 10 here. That would be the same thing, but I didn't need another parenthesis here. So you could do that one. And if I just want to get, like, for example, 5, that is 32. And then similarly, you could go on right here and say square root of 25 is 5, and to the power of 5 is 32. So you can get that one. And if you just did this one, that would return 5. So a lot of ways, like if I say import OS and then dir of OS, notice all these functions that are available. OS.system, and if I say what is the name of the host name, its algorithm, it's there. Give me a command of dir and run this one. Open a calculator, it will open a calculator on Windows. Open a notepad, it will open a notepad for it. Whatever you want to do here, you have options to run those commands. So if a clear screen is the command, you do that one. If you just say set command, it will just run this one. If you run set and then find a string, say username, find a string username, and then the username is going to be skipped with /i, meaning that make sure that it understand the lowercase uppercase, so ignore case username. Then I could also say something like this, say os.get get env, and then say inside this one, I could say username, and then that would say Wahid. The output of this one was Wahid. Similarly, if I get the path, which is another variable, I could get all the entire path. Similarly, for user profile, I could get my user profile information there. So any command that is on the set here, I could just run this one and type, say, 5 more. And then these are the commands here. The output of them are there. With the get env, for example, if I want to get the OS name, I could have just say get env, and then right here the variables OS, and then that says Windows NT. So there's a lot of nice things that are available within it, and you can do that one. You can also use, for example, help on os.system, and then you see the function that how you use this one. Os. Let's say get login, and then you get the login information. Os.get current working directory. All of these functions are available for you. So that's where I started my list. I could also do something like a list. Say commands is equal, and then inside my commands, I could just say, let's declare some command that I could do. Like I said, notepad, I could say date/t, and then at the same time, calculator. Okay, these 3 commands, simple commands. And now if I just do this one, I just have to close the list. Sorry, and this list, the syntax is without this. Somehow I did it. os.system, and then clear my screen here. So this was the list definition of how we define this one. Type of commands, you can see it's a list. If I say commands itself, then it's going to show this one. So command sub 0 will return notepad. And command sub 1 would return d/t. Command sub 2 will be this. Or command -1 would be similar command sub 2, the last one. The last element is -1, so it returns calculator also. And I could also do this one to say, show everything from first to the last one. Or I could say first to the last one, like that. Or element 1 to the last one. Or just show me -2, but don't show me the last one. So you could do whichever one you want. Since this one is pointing to the last one, you could see that -1 there. And then if you do all of them, you get everything here. -1 means one from the last one. The last one is not included there. But if you just do this without -1, you get only the last one. But colon, when you do the separator like colon, you're saying that how far you want to get. If you want everything, you get this. If you say don't include the calc, it will just do that. Don't include the date also, only the notepad, then -2 here. But if you want to say get 1 to 2, that would be just starting from the second one. If you start from the 0, then now you have to. So you can do those ones, and then for you could say for whatever, for C or CMD and commands, and then you say print your command is, and then you just type in CMD here within the F string, and then that will just print say your command is that. But if you want to run the command as well as execute it, you need to do this. You say for your command is this, and then at the same time say printf. First, you just have to say string is equal os dot pipe open, process open or pipe open. Now you're opening that command in a pipe as a stream. Then you say output is equal stream dot read. Now you read that stream, and then you say print, and then this time you say f, f, and then you say the output of your command is, and then say sim output. Make sure you don't have typo, and then that's gonna run a for statement within the command. It's gonna run the command, and then it's gonna give you output. And right there, it's the output for the calculator. That's the notepad, and that's the rest of them. So you say your command is notepad, we saw the output. Your command is this date command, and here's the output of it. And calculator, the output was shown below. So you can do as many ways as you want, but if you just say something different, then you can do that one. Whatever is this commands that are there, you can add or remove to that command because it's a list there. So you can add to the list in there. There are commands. You can see there's a list of them that whenever you pop from the command, you can do it, you can extend it, you can just copy elements, you can add get the index of it, so you can do that one. So commands itself is this. If I say commands dot pop, every time I pop, the last element will be popped. Every time you push, you are adding, extending the element wherever you want the index of it. So now, if I say command, I get the last two element. Now, if I say pop again, the command is just one last element. This time, if I pop it, when I pop it the last time, it's going to be now the list is empty. So a list is empty here, and then there's no element on it. That's what a list empty element is shown. Similarly with tuple data dictionary, but when we get to the second part of the this video, which is intermediate level Linux Windows Python programming, I'll cover the list, tuples, data dictionaries, set, and everything else. So at this time, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe to our channel and make recommendation to your friends and family and loved ones, so they can also watch these free videos online on YouTube channels. It is very nice for people that nowadays on YouTube you can find almost every kind of instruction. A lot of the professors for college, including myself, that we teach at different colleges and different universities, as well as have extensive background in operating system, database programming, and software engineering. We make these videos for you online, so you could just come in and enjoy it and learn from it, and then basically that is it. So if you go to our channel and watch these videos, you will learn a lot, and it will help you for school and work. God bless you. Take care. Have fun. Bye.